Welcome to the Boncho Club. But first, we'll make some ginger tea. This club is for people like you, acupuncturists, herbalists, um, physicians, clinicians who are working in the TCM field and traditional Korean medicine, traditional Japanese medicine, traditional Eastern medicine. Um, when I went to school, we didn't have too much Western medicine or Western education regarding medical practices, medical news, and a way to learn and communicate with our Western counterparts. So the way that I stayed informed was to look up publications online, stay up to date with the medical news, and search up any kind of Western medical terms. Hopefully, through Poncho Club, you'll stay informed with the knowledge that I've gathered on a day to day basis and be able to keep you up to date with anything that might be interesting within the Western medical field and be able to help you in your own practice through tidbits of information that I've gathered. Also, all of this is possible thanks to you guys supporting us by purchasing our study tools at ponchofriends.com. And another way to support us is by going to ponchoschool.mn.co in order to subscribe for our study tools as well. I'm super excited to go on this journey with you guys and welcome to the Poncho Club. All right, so let's get into the news articles for today. The first one is from University of Cambridge. Scientists identify how fasting may protect against inflammation. So, in a paper called Arachidonic acid inhibition of the NLRP3 inflammasomes, it talks about a chemical in the blood called arachidonic acid, which inhibits inflammation. So this is an acid that researchers say that might explain the beneficial effects of drugs such as aspirin. And scientists have known for some time that our diet, particularly in the Western high caloric diet, could increase diseases including obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, which is all linked to chronic inflammation. So this makes a lot of sense in TCM as well, because if we eat a lot of fatty foods, a lot of high caloric foods, what happens in our body is that it affects damp and it affects phlegm and it causes heat to occur within our body. So, TCM perspective for this would be that we would have to clear damp, we would have to clear phlegm in order to clear the heat. So it's um, pretty common sense, right? Because we, if we're eating a lot of fatty foods, a lot of high caloric diets, then obviously it's going to cause a lot of strain on the stomach and spleen chi, which causes damp to occur. And when damp consolidates, it becomes phlegm, which starts blocking all the chi within our body and thereby causing more heat, which is inflammation in terms of Western medicine. So, inflammation in our body, according to the article, is a natural response to injury or infection and is triggered by a mechanism including the so-called inflammasome, which acts like an alarm within our body cells, triggering inflammation to protect our body when it senses danger or damage. And the article says, but the inflammasome can trigger inflammation in unintentional ways. One of its functions is to destroy unwanted cells, which can result in the release of the cell's contents into the body, where they trigger inflammation. This is pretty common sense, right? If your body it has it detects something that's not natural, it's automatically going to trigger the alarm bells, right? So, for instance, if we're eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of chemicals that aren't natural to the body is going to automatically sound the alarm, cause inflammation, and destroy the enemy. So, so in a sense, this article is basically saying something very common sense, which is that it will kill anything that's not naturally a part of the body. So, in the article, it says it's unintentional, but I would say that this is very intentional because our body's immune system is there for a reason, and it's there to protect our body from uh, injury and harm. So, this is only natural. And the article continues to say that the inflammasome is very important in major diseases such as obesity, atherosclerosis, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, and it's particularly prevalent in the Western world, possibly due to the Western diet being very high in fats and high in calories. And they found out that restricting calorie intake increased the levels of the lipid known as arachidonic acid. And the thing that they've been surprised by was that arachidonic acid was known to be linked with increased levels of inflammation and not decreased levels. So they're surprised that having fasting or fasting and having less caloric intake would increase the arachidonic lipids or acids to increase and thereby decrease inflammation. So that was different from what they were expecting. So the article states that it provides potential explanations for how changing our diet, in particular by fasting, actually protects us from inflammation, thanks to the arachidonic acid. They say that it's too early to say whether fasting protects against diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, and because the arachidonic acid's effects are short-lived, but it grows. It adds to the growing amount of scientific literature that points to the health benefits of calorie restriction, so fasting. It suggests that regular fasting over a long period of time could help reduce chronic inflammation that we associate with the conditions of obesity and on and on. They also have shown that some patients who have high fat diet have increased levels of inflammasome activity, which is inflammation, right? So high fat content in your diet is going to lead to major inflammation. And another thing that was cool on this article was that there could be a yin and yang effect going on here, whereby too much of the wrong thing is increasing your inflammasome activity, and too little is decreasing it. So even in the Western world, they're finding out that everything needs to be in balance. Right. The next article I have for you guys is AI designed drugs for inflammatory bowel disease enters human clinical trials. So AI is an issue that a lot of us are looking at, right? The trend is that AI is taking over the world, and the first inflammatory bowel disease drug for is entering human clinical trials. So that's pretty significant. AI designed drugs is basically the AI calculating uh, different ways of how compounds or chemical compounds could be used to target certain ailments within the body, right? So in the Western world, they're looking for direct causes and direct ways to mitigate those causes. So having AI go through like trillions of calculations will definitely reduce the speed. Reduce the time that it takes for a drug company to develop a drug and find the answer in a much faster way, rather than waiting for lab scientists to try, you know, A, B, C, D, and different iterations of the drug, and rather have the AI compute all the different variations that could have an effect on a particular target or a particular uh, outcome that they want. So I think we're going to see a lot of this AI designed drug becoming a trend as well. So I think as acupuncturists and herbalists, it's good to know and see that good to know what's going on in the pharmaceutical world and be in the know of how AI is affecting the medical industry as well. So the next article is eating kimchi every day could stave off weight gain, new study says. So this is particularly awesome for me because I'm Korean and I love kimchi. So having cabbage and radish kimchi uh, is very effective in reducing the risk of obesity and abdominal obesity in both men and women. So just like how we talked about, having high fat diets in America and the Western world is causing inflammation within the body, right? Um, Kimchi is usually made with cabbage or radishes. And what's fascinating is that cabbage and radish are cool ingredients. So in the TCM world, we have different temperatures for different foods, right? So cabbage is a cool food, and it enters the stomach and large intestine. It clears the heat and it promotes digestion. So obviously, this is perfect for people who have inflammation within the body because it clears heat and it promotes digestion. So in case your body has any trouble digesting chemicals or high fat, like foods that are high in fat, then having kimchi on the side to counterbalance that is like the perfect medicine for your body. Radish also circulates qi, it clears damp, it clears heat, eliminates toxins, and it expels phlegms. It enters the lungs and stomach, and it's basically doing the similar thing with cabbage, right? So it's clearing the heat, it's clearing the damp, it's cool. So it's definitely going to help with the body mitigate the damages occurred from a high caloric, high fat diet. So, which is why this article makes a lot of sense too, because eating kimchi every day would help the body in that manner. In South Korea, they found that people who ate moderate amounts of kimchi daily are lower risk for developing obesity. They surveyed over 115,000 Korean adults ages 40 to 69 and found that Korean men who consumed 1 to 3 servings of kimchi a day were less likely to develop obesity than those who ate less than a serving per day. So, this is really good news for Koreans. Numerous studies have shown that diet high in fermented foods, such as kimchi, has proven health effects, such as increasing the microbiome diversity, reducing inflammation, and another study published in April in the Journal of Ethnic Foods found that kimchi can be an effective treatment aid for obesity. Another thing that cabbage and radish has is fiber, right? So fiber helps to keep you full longer, and it also contributes to your daily vegetable intake. The other thing is because it is fermented food, it's got certain pre and probiotics that can help with gut health. So kimchi is definitely going to help with obesity. There's a lot of studies that have shown and validated that statement. So um, even if you don't like spicy foods, maybe try some kimchi and then help your gut health. So the next article we have is: Are you getting enough fiber? So it's one of the most overlooked nutrients, doctors say, when it comes, and people are now considering whether fiber should become a supplement. So according to this article, less than 10% of US adults are getting the recommended daily intake of fiber. For adults age 50 and under, US Department of Agriculture recommends that women get 25 grams of fiber a day and men get 38 grams daily. Typically, American adults are only eating about 10 to 15 grams total of fiber a day. So that's way less than half of what they should be taking. This may be in part because people don't realize the importance of fiber, and that it's when fiber is something that we could easily take in every day. So, as clinicians, as health providers, I think teaching our patients that fiber is going to be a very crucial component to their daily diet would be a great idea. According to this statistic, only 10% are getting their daily recommended intake. So it's definitely going to be something that health practitioners need to educate our patients. So on this article, it says, does it mean everyone should take fiber supplements, or are there better, simpler ways to get the nutrients? And as we talked about kimchi, I think kimchi would be the perfect candidate for this. So the article goes on to say, why is fiber important for overall health? So gut health can affect other areas of our lives, including brain health, immunity, and skin health. So the doctor here says the gut has a favorite food, and that favorite food is fiber. So that says a lot. Having a diet that is high in fiber can also help maintain hormone levels in women, and is been found to reduce blood sugar and estrogen levels, which may be why it's linked to an 8% lower chance of developing breast cancer. So especially if you're a woman, eating your fiber would be very crucial. Some fiber-rich foods you could reach for is avocados, leafy greens, broccoli, cauliflower, bok choy, Brussels sprouts, almonds, berries, apples, chia seeds, flax seeds, sunflower seeds, and definitely kimchi. So the next article is colon cancer hits young adults. This one was interesting to me because colon cancer has been something that people with more higher age would actually receive, but now there's young adults who are getting colon cancer. And just like how we start off with the first article, I think it has to do with a lot with our diet, right? Because the colon, if it's not able to process foods and excrete the waste, it's going to build up, right? It's going to build up. Not only that, it's going to overwork our intestines and thereby cause it to become weaker. And in TCM, we all know that in order to have a fully functional, fully healthy body, it's not only about treating one organ, it's about treating the entire system as a holistic unit, and thereby allow or create that environment where food could be easily processed and passed through the system so that cancerous cells cannot thrive within our body, right? But unfortunately, colon cancer hitting young adults is I think, a very crucial symptom of how society is not eating healthy right now. I think just with the fiber, with the high fats, the inflammation, all these articles pointing toward the Western diet being the issue, right? So I think it's very crucial that that you educate your patients that diet is very, very crucial into creating an environment where it could cause more inflammation, cause cancerous cells to thrive within your body, and create bad gut health eventually. So I think this article really hits hard, and it shows the point where we're at in society, especially in Western society, where we're not eating the right things in order to create a beneficial health for us, where colon cancer is now being diagnosed in young people. Um, I mean, I'm glad that she's having her treatments, but I think this photo sort of says it all too because she's holding a Starbucks cup, right? And Starbucks is, I mean, people like Starbucks, I get it, but it's full of sugar. It's a lot of caffeine. So I think this kind of shows the mentality of where a lot of people are at when they're at their worst health situation. They still don't have that education of knowing that the basic building blocks of their body, the basic foundation of their health is from food and is from whatever they intake, right? It's the saying where you are what you eat, right? So if you're constantly eating sugar, if you're constantly drinking Starbucks, I think it's not. I think we could all agree that it's not going to be helpful in the recovery process of your body becoming going back to health. So I wish the best for this lady, but I think it's really unfortunate that a lot of people in Western society, especially, don't have that basic knowledge of understanding that food is the basic fundamental or foundation of our body health, and that is very, very crucial. So the next article we have here is death in cancer is declining despite increased risk. So the risk of dying from cancer has been declining for years. However, this comes as cancer risks are currently on the rise. I think that's very unfortunate as well, right? The death risk, although the death risk is falling, the diagnosis of people having cancer is rising. The American Cancer Society says that U.S. is expected to see more than 2 million cancer diagnoses this year. That's more than 55,000 per day. I think, to reiterate, I think having people understand that their foundational building block of their health is what they do every day, right? Is food, it's emotions, it's mental clarity, it's exercise. The fact that we as a society, as humanity, are having more cancer, but living longer thanks to modern medicine. So of course that's beautiful, right? Having modern medicine be able to extend the lifespan. But if we go down this path, are we going down a path where we have a long life that has less quality? So, or do we want to have a long life with high quality, right? Having a quality life rather than a quantitative life, right? So I think as health practitioners, we should be that reminder for our patients that, hey, if you want to have a quality life, you're going to have to work on it every day. Um, and unfortunately, society is going toward where they're having more cancer, but living longer, right? Being ill and being having sickness for a longer period of time, which is which I don't think is the road that we want to go down, right? So as health practitioners, I think we should definitely work on teaching our patients better health um, practices, right? And I think these types of articles show us how um, showing the proof is in the pudding, right? Is there's 55,000 diagnoses of cancer every day, and it's definitely not something that we want to have happen more and more. Um, they say that the increasing rates of cancer diagnosis are driven by six common cancers. This is breast cancer, prostate cancer, uterine cancer, pancreatic cancer, kidney cancer, and skin cancer, respectively. Okay. Next article is was pretty interesting as well as from Nature. They say that the new genetic variants found in a large study by Chinese mother. So the wording here is kind of weird, but it's basically a study of Asia to examining the links between genomes of mothers and their babies and their health. So what I found interesting from here is that mothers with higher blood pressure give birth to lighter and shorter babies. than do mothers with lower blood pressure. So this sort of makes sense too, right? Because obviously, if you have high blood pressure, it means that you have a circulatory blood circulation problem, and if you have a blood circulation problem, it's definitely going to affect the nutrients that are entering into the fetus, right? While it's in while you're having the baby inside your body. So not having that proper nutrition being given to the fetus is going to ultimately create physical detriment to the baby, right? So having the baby weakened and having less physical well-being is common sense in that aspect. So, but to have this kind of study to show that there is a correlation and a connection where having higher blood pressure is giving birth to babies having lighter, becoming lighter and becoming shorter was pretty interesting. So I wanted to share that with you guys. It says that it confirmed some previously established links including mothers who are taller and have higher blood sugar levels when fasting, have heavier babies. And mothers with high blood pressure have lighter and shorter babies. So they said that in the quantitative terms, uh, every 1 centimeter increase in the maternal height, there was an increase in 15 grams on average in the infant birth weight. Uh, however, like another thing that when I'm reading studies, right? Sometimes I think it needs more vigorous and rigorous peer reviews. And I think this article is fair in that it shows that more work is needed in cause what causes certain things to have cause and correlation, right? For instance, um, like this participation size. So the study, so if you have a study with 10 people versus having a study with 10,000 people, the the evidence of having correlation or causation of a certain thing is more likely to be true when you have a bigger participation pool, right? So this article is cautioning or stating that the number of study for the participants is relatively small, and any associations will be needed to be confirmed in larger sample sizes. So having larger sample sizes would definitely be more evidence, but I just thought that it was pretty interesting to see that higher blood pressure uh, would have a connection with having stinted growth in babies. Now, the last article that I wanted to show you guys was large tumblers are popular, but it is possible to drink too much water. So this article is very interesting because there was a lady who was drinking about one of these per hour. So one 25-ounce water bottle per hour, right? And right now, there's like this trend and fad of the tumblers being sold out at Target, and everyone's going out to go grab one of those tumblers, right? But drinking too much water being unhealthy for you, that's not something you hear a lot, right? But according to this article, the lady here had a surprise when she went for a regular checkup because her sodium levels were dangerously low. She's the doctor told her that she's at risk at having a seizure. So so the doctor told her that she's basically drowning herself because she's getting rid of all the sodium, and that it could possibly explain why she's feeling lethargic and having a lots of headaches. So I think this was important to share with you guys because sometimes we only know as much as we ask our patients, right? So we need to, in order to find the correct answer, we gotta ask the correct questions. And um, when a patient comes in with lethargy or headaches, we could automatically go toward a conclusion where it's more generic or more obvious. But sometimes things like this might happen, right? There might be a situation where everything checks out well, but she might be drinking too much water and having lethargy and headaches. So um, uh, I just want to share this because maybe it could be like if everything else checks out, maybe ask them, "Are you drinking too much water?" So according to this article, she said that she never heard that you could drink too much water, and after she cut back on water and added electrolytes, she was doing totally fine. So the doctor over here says that as a general rule, you should try to drink about half an ounce to an ounce of water for each pound you weigh every day. So, for example, if you weigh 200 pounds, it's recommended that you drink 100 ounces of water if you're performing non strenuous exercises. So, I think that's a good thing to know for your practice and your patient's well being. If you have any comments or if you have any questions, please comment below. And if you'd like to support Poncho Club and me doing more of these, please let me know and support us through Poncho School or ponchofriends.com and purchase one of our products. And if you want me to focus on a certain aspect or a certain thing, please comment down below as well. This is a my first episode of doing this, and Poncho Club is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, where I could like it's a club, right? So I wanted to be able to share information and in a community where we could all benefit and elevate our knowledge of medicine in order to treat and help patients uh, around us, right? So I know that all most of the people here are um, into TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, herbology, acupuncture, but I think because we live in a modern society and live with a lot of Western medication, Western medicine, and a lot of patients who are more used to that. I think it will definitely help all of us if we could dive into Western medicine and Western terminology and education so that we could better help our patients and serve them better and be able to communicate with our counterparts in Western medicine, right? So hopefully this helps you grasp some knowledge um, and help you with your own studies as well. Thank you.